Okay, we're official. Welcome to Somatic Inquiry. My name is Aaron King. I am a primal trust mentor. And for those of you who don't know what I do a process that I call Somatic Inquiry. Let me share my screen real quick because I did a little slide to kind of illustrate what Somatic Inquiry is. So somatic inquiry is a process that incorporates inquiry, which is, I don't know if you're familiar with like Gabor Mate's compassionate inquiry or Byron Katie's The Work. Those would be two kind of examples of inquiry. Basically, it's a very simple but direct questioning of the meaning that we're assigning to our experience. It's a very powerful tool. Somatic inquiry also incorporates parts work, so fractured aspects of our psyche that are not fully integrated or might be like fully exiled. We work with the parts to help integration and healing to occur. And then somatic experiencing. So I'm currently going through the training for somatic experiencing. It's a 3-year process, but I'm incorporating aspects of that. I was already incorporating a pretty strong somatic presencing piece into the work that I was doing, but now I'm bringing in actual elements of somatic experiencing. So that's the process that I offer currently, just as a one-to-one. And the results are, new experiences, new perceptions of self and of the world, greater acceptance, greater sense of wholeness, more freedom in relationships and just in life in general. So that's kind of what I do. So just to let you know, if I'm new to you, that's somatic inquiry. So today we are going to start with a little bit of VU breathing, just to kind of help us get a little more online, a little more regulated. And then we're going to look at presencing our body sensations or symptoms. We're going to do a little bit of an experiential around that. And then if we have time, as always, I would love to take volunteers to do a little bit of one-on-one, again, time permitting. So we have about an hour. We'll see how we do. Let me turn this off, stop share. Okay, so give me maybe like a thumbs up if you've done VU breathing before. I'm assuming we are mostly familiar with this. Yeah, okay. I like that, Jane. So we're going to do a little VU breathing to engage the vagus nerve. We're going to do a straight version, and then we're going to do a slight variation. And we want this to be experimental and experiential. We want this to be a discovery. As always, when we're doing any practice like this, we want to notice what we're feeling like right now, and then notice if anything changes after we do a little bit of VU breathing. And from the somatic experiencing perspective, different is good, okay? Anything different is a good thing. Now, it might be, oh my God, I just got totally triggered and now I'm being flooded, okay? Nevertheless, if it's different, that means something different is happening in our nervous system. And so we just want to be mindful and just kind of notice what happens for us. So just kind of let yourself land just right where you are right now. And I'm going to lead us through 3 straight VU breaths. So for those of you who aren't familiar, it's just a gentle, deep inhale. And then we're going to exhale, and I'll demonstrate one, and then we'll do the 3 together. We're going to exhale, and we're going to make a voo sound. And it's kind of a vibration that we feel throughout our body as we're exhaling. So an example would be in breath. And as you're exhaling, you can just kind of feel the vibration kind of moving through your body. And again, this is stimulating our vagus nerve, hopefully moving us into more of a ventral vagal or regulated state. Relaxed and ready is kind of where we'd like to land. So feeling relaxed, but ready. So we'll go ahead and do 3 together, okay? And I'll just start us off. Ooh. 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 So just kind of noticing what that feels like. I see a yawn. It's always a nice little sign that the nervous system might be just letting down a little. And just take a minute to kind of be with that. If you want to type anything in the chat, feel free. Just what you notice, if anything. Maybe we feel a little more here. Maybe we feel a little more grounded. Maybe we don't feel any different. That's okay. Very relaxed, connecting with body, calm, tranquil, present. Yeah, it feels kind of good. I got a headache. Slightly calmer. Okay. Going to. Okay. Calm me, even though parts don't want to. That's okay. If anybody is not muted, could you all just check to see if you're muted? Present, nice, smoother energy, calming. So it feels kind of good, doesn't it? Feels kind of good to be a little more kind of engaged on a nervous system level. I love the pause after the boo as I can really perceive the silent space, which is calming and grounding and centering. Yeah. So again, just feeling a little more present. Okay. The variation we're going to do might be fun, might be a little uncomfortable. Again, I'm going to model this. So we're going to voo, but we're going to kind of let it turn into a bit of a growl. Okay. And I'll just model what this is going to look like. And again, just we're just approaching this as this is just experimental. We're just like, well, what would it be like if I did it this way? Okay. So I'm going to kind of bare my teeth as I'm vooing, and it's going to turn into a little bit more of a growl. So here we go. Voo. Okay. So we're kind of letting ourselves just engage a slightly different energy with this one, okay? And if you're more comfortable turning your camera off so that you can really do that growl, go for it. Obviously I'm here on camera, so we're going to do 3 more. This time we're going to do a growl each time. And again, we're just noticing how this feels. Okay. What does this do for me? So here we go. Hopefully I'm not scaring you. Okay. So just letting that kind of land. I see a smile. And curious what that was like. That unlocks some sadness. Release tension, release anger. Feel stronger and playful, made me laugh. Power, yeah. A little more energizing. Brought some heat, laughter, yeah. So it's interesting. The first time I did that, it was actually at a somatic experiencing training. It felt so good. Like it felt like somebody said, it felt like kind of powerful, and like I just wanted to like really just roar, and just it just helped me connect with something like an itch that needed to be scratched inside of me. So just play around with that. If Wu breathing is something that you do, or if not, just play around with it in the different variations, and just noticing what it might unlock, what it might allow you to express that once expressed. Root chakra, my dog's freaked out. Oh man. Speaking of dog, our dog has been absolutely crazy the past few days. She is like, she's hormonal, she's barking at night and just driving us nuts. So anyway, dogs. Okay. All right. So we'll just see if there's anything. Feeling more activated. Okay. So activated can mean different things. And I don't know what exactly it means to you, Emma, but sometimes you might notice that you just feel a little more activated, like a little more alive. But maybe it's activated could also, maybe it could bring something up that wants to be kind of processed. So okay. So we're going to talk about the way that we are wanting something different to happen in our life while constantly referencing the past. And this is something that we're all doing. We're gonna kind of talk about this generally, conceptually, and then we're gonna kind of apply it to how we experience our body, symptoms, sensations. So let me share my slide. Okay, so I only see the past. Like I was just saying, like we all most likely are wanting our experience to change in some way. And that might be, we want to feel better. We want our body to do something different, or it could just be about, how we live our life. But if we really kind of tune in and pay attention, we are usually mostly only referencing the past in our thinking. and in the way that we're feeling. So constantly rehearsing the past, but kind of hoping or expecting for something different to happen in the present. So in order to really have a different outcome, we need to somehow forgive or let go of the past, okay? Of the repetitive thinking, the repetitive feelings that we experience day to day. As we can let go of that, we can become more present. And in being more present and being more open, we are actually open to receive new experiences, new perspectives. Okay? So we're recognizing that often we're just spinning the past in our little virtual reality. We're spinning the past. And recognizing that really, if we want something to change, then we might need to let that go, allow ourselves to be open to something different. This is just kind of the general concept here. And it's in this state of openness, in this state of being more present, that we can truly begin to receive and begin to experience something new. So this is the general idea, okay? And something that today we're gonna really hope to kind of become a little more aware of how we're doing this. Because, this is conceptual so far, and that's only so useful, but we just kind of want to lay the groundwork here. So again, this idea of what am I giving my attention to, minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day? Am I just giving my attention to the same repetitive thought streams, the same reactive emotional states? Okay. And am I expecting that to somehow miraculously give me a new experience? So moving into symptom sensation. So many of us experience what we would call bodily symptoms. And a symptom is essentially, we'll just say for the sake of this exercise, an unwanted, uncomfortable, or perceived threatening feeling that we're experiencing, right? So symptoms are usually uncomfortable, unwanted, scary, okay? It is highly likely though, so part B of the ABC is kind of about coming into the body and being present with the body, okay? Commonly, when we are attempting to do that, or when we think we're doing that, we might what we're really being present with is likely the meaning that we're assigning to the sensations, okay? So rather than experiencing the sensations directly, we are often actually experiencing the meaning that we're giving to them. So if I have a pain, in my heart, there might be a sensation in my body, but there also is very likely going to be a meaning, like, oh, this means that I'm going to die. And so when Dr. Kat tells me I need to be present with this, she's asking me to be present with the fact that I'm going to die. Okay, so that would be an example of how we're not actually kind of allowing ourselves to be present with the sensation directly, because the meaning gets in the way. So just kind of pointing that out. And we're used to perceiving our body symptoms and sensations in a very specific way, meaning like, so if I have the heart thing, it's likely that every time I notice this, I'm probably going to have a similar reaction to it, i.e., I'm afraid I'm going to die. And then tomorrow I have this and I'm afraid I'm going to die. Okay. So we have kind of a habitual way of relating to the things that we experience in our body in the form of symptoms and sensations. Okay. So the purpose of our experiential today is going to be to hopefully recognize and hopefully see a little bit more clearly the way that we are relating to what's going on in our bodies. Okay. So seeing hopefully maybe a habitual or repetitive pattern in a slightly clearer way. Like, oh, wow, I see how, the tingling in my leg is really causing this association to happen or this meaning. And what would it be like to just feel the tingling in my leg without that? Okay. And through this process, we will hopefully be able to experience a little more directly what it feels like to be in this body in this moment. And hopefully it might be a new experience, and that would be great. So just get comfortable. Let me actually pull up the chat. Got to keep in mind. Okay. So just get comfortable, and we're going to do just a little bit of a guided practice here. Okay. And you can do camera on or off, doesn't matter. We're going to start with eyes open. And just want you to take a moment to notice what it's like to be here. And if you let your eyes go where they would want to go, what would you notice in the space around you? So we're just doing a little bit of orienting. And as we kind of notice our environment, just notice how you feel about it. Is there anything that when you look at it feels kind of good? And if it's possible to find something that might feel just a little bit good, and we just want to give that a little bit of attention. So starting with something that feels a little bit good is a way of resourcing ourselves. And the more that we feel resourced, i.e., the more that we are noticing something that might feel a little bit good or a little bit safe or a little bit calm, the more that we're able to presence what might, or to meet what might not feel quite so good in us. So we're just going to stay with this for another minute. Just whether there's a specific thing in the room that's really got your attention that you just kind of are enjoying, appreciating, or whether your eyes just want to keep wandering. But just noticing if there's anything that might feel just a little bit good. And then when you're ready, we're going to notice what it feels like in our body. So we're kind of shift our attention internal, okay, from our external environment. We're going to let it kind of come in. And we're going to just see what we notice, okay? Whether it be a physical sensation or an emotion. Just kind of see what's calling your attention. And if possible, it might be something that you might call a symptom. Not required, but if there's something that might feel like a symptom, something that might normally be unwanted, uncomfortable, okay? Just see what it's like to be with that a little bit. And as you do, see if you can notice where there might be meaning being assigned. So whether it feels like something painful or something uncomfortable, whatever it is for you, see if you can identify whatever the meaning is. This means I can't live my life. This means I can't be happy. This means I can't go for a walk. This means I can't have a relationship. What's the meaning associated with the sensation in your body? And what's the emotion tied in with that meaning? So I feel pain. That means I can't live my life. And I react to that by feeling sad. Okay? So just noticing the meaning and the emotion that are getting attached to the sensation. It might be a sensation and the meaning might be what the doctor said. I feel this, the doctor said this means this, and now I feel hopeless. And as we're just bringing some awareness to this, ask yourself, am I experiencing a new thought, a new emotion as it relates to the feeling in my body? Or am I experiencing the same thought and the same emotion that I've felt 1,000 times? And it might be useful to even say, to bring our awareness to, I am only seeing the past in these thoughts and emotions. I'm only seeing the past. Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to imagine if you could gather up all of the thoughts and the judgments and the negative emotions, everything that is on repeat, everything that is only referencing the past. If we could gather all of this up and just put it into a hot air balloon, like a giant hot air balloon, however big it needs to be. So gathering up all of our past associations. And we're going to put them in this hot air balloon. And then in an act of forgiveness or letting go, if we were to just let go of the hot air balloon and let it take all of that. And then just noticing what it is like to let go of the past, if even just for a moment. Do you feel the same, or does something maybe feel a little bit different? And if you're still aware of whatever that bodily sensation was, what is that like? Without all of those judgments about it, without all of the negative emotions that might have been tied to it. What is the felt sense? What is the sensation actually like when met directly? But just stay with this for a minute, and when you're ready, you can let your attention come back to the room that you're in, and just let yourself orient back a little bit to just being here in the room. I see sunny sky outside. I see a palm tree. I see grass. I see pictures of kids. I see plants. I see all kinds of crystals and rocks. Just noticing the space that I'm in. I'm going to stop the slideshow, theoretically. Okay. But just kind of coming back now to the group. And I would love to hear either in chat or if you wish to speak, I would love to hear what that was like for you. Jane. You'll need to unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you. I've been having a lot of pain in my feet as a reaction to a flu shot, or so I've been telling myself. And that's the story. And then I with that story have been calling up a lot of visions of the past when I've had reactions and food sensitivities and all kinds of things. And I actually was trying to draw a picture of the state that I was in, and I found myself seeing what I drew, which was in a shamanic vision, I had a tree appear before me that laid down and showed me the path that was to be in front of me. And this tree that I drew became bloody and gnarled with all the layers of the past on it. And I didn't realize what I was drawing. It was like free writing, only it was free drawing. And I couldn't get it out of my mind. It was so more powerful than anything I could have written. That is the gnarled, bloody past that I create over and over and over again.
Mhm.
So with an opportunity to put it in a balloon and then let it go, it was a very powerful experience because I really felt my whole body go with it and become lighter.
Mhm.
And the pain that I was having in my feet totally disappeared, and all I was feeling was the lightness.
Mhm.
I was surprised it was as effective as it was.
Yeah,
So thank you.
thank you. That's awesome. And yeah, it can be incredibly powerful, right? Um, whether whether you believe this or not, some of us believe that the world might be kind of a projection of our thinking, and so often what we're experiencing is that projection. So well, this is because of this, and then this reminds me of this, and that was a problem, so this is going to be like it's an intricate web of meaning that gets spun, a very, very intricate web. And so it's tricky, and that's why gathering all of it up, every bit of it up, and letting it go is one thing. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Michelle and then Jessica.
Thanks for calling on me, Erin.
You bet.
So the symptom that came up for me is my oldest symptom, which has been going on for 30 years. And it's symptoms in my stomach. And a lot of the negative thoughts that come up are self-recrimination, that I caused it somehow, that I should have known better than to eat XYZ.
Mhm.
Or I should have known better than to eat quickly. These sorts of things. And so then, that led to a flood of emotions coming up. But I can't even name them all. Definitely sadness, definitely frustration. But I love the image of taking all those thoughts and emotions and putting them in that hot air balloon. And when you led us through that, my attention shifted away from my stomach, and I felt a lightning throughout my body. And I'm still somewhat aware of the symptoms, but they may just be normal digestion. It may just be normal digestion, and I was attaching past meanings. And so I'm just going to sit back and relax and thank you. That was really That was really helpful.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just a question. So it sounds like there's something about having it be your fault. Mhm,
Oh yeah.
mhm. So just as a quick follow-up, how does it serve you when it's your fault?
Doesn't serve me at all.
Mm,
Doesn't serve me at all. But yeah, you know, that's very deep-seated from childhood.
yeah. So if it couldn't be your fault, if it
Mhm.
just couldn't be your fault, what would you lose?
Oh, wow. I would lose nothing. I
Mm,
would gain. Yeah, I'd stop punishing myself would be amazing.
mhm.
Yeah.
So if you stopped punishing yourself, then what would happen?
Um, I could be present
Mhm.
for one. And my digestion would be better. um, and I could live my life. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again.
Mhm. Jessica.
So for me, what came up, I thought for sure I would go to some of my usual symptoms, like I have a lot of headaches and pain always. But what came up was emotion, more like sadness. And I was very surprised by that and also very resistant to that because I suffer from severe chronic nightmares, like constantly,
Uh-huh.
where emotions trigger that for whatever reason, even if I don't feel like I know emotions are normal, but when I go to sleep, my brain turns that into like nightmares over and over, where I'm always needing to rescue people, having to solve problems, like it is my responsibility. So I was surprised that it was coming up in this type of exercise, where that idea that I'm attaching the meaning that is going, I'm afraid of what's going to happen if I feel that emotion. I'm
Yeah.
afraid of down the road, like tonight, like, will it start straight away, and will it be 6 hours of nightmares or just 3 hours of nightmares? So I felt like I don't realize how much I'm connecting that meaning, because that's been my experience. But if I'm contributing to the pattern of that, by attaching that meaning. And so I'm kind of wrestling through it still, because I feel like it's really deep, that I'm
Mhm.
not aware of how much I'm doing that.
So firstly, as I said before, I think it's always a good thing when something comes up that you weren't expecting. Like you said, I wasn't expecting sadness to come up. So that means something different is happening. So that's good. Um, so you're afraid that if you let yourself feel the sadness, the nightmares are going to worsen?
Because that's been the pattern, probably over like the past 7 years.
And what if it's the exact opposite? Meaning, what if it is the not allowing yourself to feel the sadness that is then creating the need for that sadness to get processed through nightmare? And
Right.
we're holding this loosely, right?
Yeah, no, but that would be freedom.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I think that's what I was saying, like, where I feel like I'm kind of really rolling that over in my mind, like, but what if that's a big piece of this, and would I be willing to try it if that was freedom on the other side? And
Mhm.
yes, I would want to try that.
Mhm. And so what happened with the sadness during the process just now?
It kept coming back,
Yeah.
like it kept coming up, where I thought like, okay, it's done. And then when we're putting, it visually putting the things in the balloon, I still felt that way. So that's where I was really getting this sense of it wants to be heard.
Yeah. So is it there now?
Yeah, I think there's still some there.
And where do you feel it in your body?
I feel it all in my chest.
Okay. And what does it feel like?
It feels like pressure. It feels like a constriction,
Mm-hmm.
like it's harder to breathe.
Okay. And does this feeling of sadness that feels like a constriction that's making it hard to breathe, does this feel safe? Yes or no?
No,
Okay. And if you had to guess, would you say that you're accepting or rejecting this feeling in your body?
rejecting.
Okay. So what would it be like for just a second if we let this sadness just feel as sad as it wants to feel for just a second?
I could do that. I could.
Like if we just gave the sadness permission without limitation to just feel the way that it feels.
It feels like breathing room or freedom, or like I don't have to plan it out.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like more like um I don't know why it feels like kind of like opposite of a prison. I don't know how to explain that.
Well, you just said freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the more that we resist, the more imprisoned we're going to feel. The more that we are able to allow, when there's less resistance to what is happening, the greater freedom we're going to feel. So
I appreciate you walking me through that.
yeah, so just stay with that a little bit and just see how that kind of wants to unwind for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. I want to see if I can get caught up on some of the chat. I think I saw. So, Tanya, do you want to chat with me? You don't have to. Maybe.
Sure.
Great. So what are you experiencing right now, or what is your question?
So my question was, my my symptoms I was focusing on was IBS symptoms. And whenever I felt the emotion of them or the thought was, this means I can't eat food.
Yeah.
Because I'm on a very restricted diet.
Yeah.
And so there's like frustration and anger that
Mhm.
that this means I'm still stuck.
Right.
And this means I can't live my life, and nothing has changed. And I of course realize that those thoughts don't serve me. When I put them in the balloon and they lifted, I did feel lighter, and I realized, or those symptoms felt lighter. And I realized that I think it was my resistance that had disappeared.
Yeah.
And without my resistance, they felt lighter.
Yeah.
But when you were just engaging with someone and you asked, like, how could that serve you?
Yep.
started trying that on and thinking, how could it be at all possible that thinking this means I can't eat foods would serve me? And I just wanted to see if you had any input on that, because if that's
Yeah.
something that I could engage with, that would, open up a gift for me, then I'd like to explore it.
So I'm going to introduce a very controversial idea. And that is that having is evidence of wanting. And the idea here is that even though we say and think and believe, I hate this, I don't want this, I want to get rid of this, okay? The fact that it's still there might suggest that on some level, it's serving us, okay? Now, it simply might be that it's giving me a sense of control, and this is very common. So, for example, if I can't stop, forecasting terrible future events, like this is just getting worse, and I'm going to die, and on and on and on and on, and you're thinking, I hate this. Why am I thinking this? Okay, it just might be that it's giving you just enough of a sense of control, okay, that without that forecasting, you might not know. You might have to step into more of an unknown, more of a vulnerability, more of an openness. So even the terrible thing is at least giving you something that you can kind of hold on to. So having is evidence of wanting. So Tanya, what the belief was, I can't eat food?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you react when you believe the thought, I can't eat food?
I shut down. Like I feel myself contract and kind of give up.
Yeah. And if you couldn't shut down or give up, what would you lose?
I feel, when you said it, I felt fearful. I felt like the fear in me intensify, because shutting down felt like a little bit of control. Like I was able to control how much fear I was feeling by doing it.
Right. So if I shut down, then that gives me what? What do I gain by getting to shut down?
Control.
Okay. Does
Go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. Does shutting down feel safer than not shutting down?
Yes, I feel less vulnerable.
Hmm.
Shut down. I feel like I'm a little protected from the pain.
Yeah. So I choose to shut down so that I don't have to feel the pain.
Yes.
So this is that having is evidence of wanting, right? In practice here, it's look, we're always gonna try to make the best choice that we can, and given what we know, given what you know up to this point so far, it has seemed like shutting down was the better option, right? And so there's
Yes.
there's no judgment there. There's no judgment, but there is an opportunity for an exploration. So the thought that you can't eat, does that thought make you feel open or closed?
Closed.
And the thought that you can't eat, does that make you feel connected or disconnected?
Disconnected.
So what would it be like for just a moment without the thought that you can't eat?
It's interesting because when I try to remove that thought or let it go,
Yeah.
I don't notice any difference. But if I replace it with I can eat, then I feel like life starts to flow into me.
Okay, so stay with that for a minute. So what's it like to have life flow into you?
Um, it feels exciting and hopeful, and relaxing.
Yeah. And if you felt excited and hopeful and relaxed, then what?
Well, it feels like I can't feel that if the truth is that I can't eat.
Mm-hmm.
So like it takes me back to that, and it's like, but if you can't eat, there's nothing to be excited or hopeful about. And um
Yeah. So were you just feeling a little excited and a little hopeful?
yeah,
Yeah. So is it true that you can't feel that?
no.
Okay. So what if there was nothing that could keep you from feeling excited, hopeful, and relaxed?
I I would be badass. That would be amazing. If nothing could take me from that place.
Yeah.
Sorry for the language people. That was from Steve's class.
No, no, no. That was good.
Um, but I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the person I want to be.
Yeah.
Um,
Beautiful. Beautiful. And thank you for sharing. And just, I would just encourage you just to stay with that feeling for a little bit. So this is, there's nothing. So what if the truth, what if the reality was that there's nothing that's limiting us? What if there's nothing that could keep us from feeling the way that we wanted to feel? Okay. Even death, because we're all, we're all going to transition. So what if even death can't keep me from feeling how unlimited I am? And just noticing all of the, all of these judgments, all of these limitations. We want to notice them, we want to forgive them, and ultimately we want to let them go. So I'm only seeing the past in these judgments. Okay. We are at time. If there's maybe one more quick question, otherwise I think we'll wrap it here.
Erin, would you please repeat that last sentence? I missed the word in the middle of the sentence. We only see something.
Oh, we only see the past.
In our, okay, thank you.
Past. Okay. So all of these judgments, these repetitive judgments, these repetitive thoughts, these repetitive feelings that are driving our reality. Okay. If we can just zoom out a little bit and recognize that this is all, we're just referencing the past. Do we want to live in the past? Or do we want to allow ourselves to be a little more open to something new? All right. Thank you, everybody. I hope you got something out of this, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.